about how to prepare your Guzzi for the riding season. So if you recall, when we winterized the motorcycle, we had closed up the exhaust with some steel wool, plastic bags, and put it up for storage. We took the battery out. The first thing we're going to do now is obviously pull the bike out of storage, give it a clean wipe, making sure it's really clean, and start pulling the plastic bags and the steel wool out of the exhaust. Then we'll do the battery next. Probably just going to keep this for next winter. So we're going to be putting this battery back in here. As all of you know, I have these aftermarket Bach side satchels, so this whole panel is not stock. So I'll be removing that first, for which you will need the 4.0 hex key to start. Keep these screws safe. Presumably you have kept the battery and the relevant screws safe over the winter. So these Guzzis, once you open the panel, have this bracket on top, which we're going to have to remove first. It's the bracket that keeps the battery secured in there. Also uses the 4.0 hex. So it looks like the battery goes in the sleeve like this. When you're trying to insert the battery back into this section, you'll note that there is a plastic ledge here, which actually slides really well into this groove. So it's a bit of a guide for you to how to slide the battery in. It's a bit tricky to get the battery in here. Try to figure out whether it goes behind or in front of this cable. For me, the battery tucks in behind this red cable. Obviously, now we just have to connect the positive to the positive end, and there are these screws that the battery came with that I had stored safely for the winter. I'm just going to screw those in. To tighten them, I need a screwdriver like this, or a Phillips head will do as well. Once you make sure that the battery is nice and secure in there, we're going to put this bracket back on using the Allen key. At this point, once the battery is connected, just before we put the plates back on, we just want to make sure that the connections are all okay. So, just turn the key. Looks like the Guzzi is alive and going through its cycles. This is a good sign. We can put the plates back on now. Make sure you take the key off. It's time to put this side plate back on. So these Guzzis are actually a really easy bike to maintain. So once the battery is in, the next thing to check is the tire pressures. The V7 IIIs have to be around 36-37 psi on both tires. So I'm just going to check that with a tire pressure gauge, and if it is low, just ride to a gas station and just fill it up. I checked the tire pressures and they're really low. They were around 20 psi. They need to be around 36-37, so I am going to be riding to a gas station. But let's see if she starts up. Hello friends, so I want you to take a look at this for the last time, because next week I'm going to be eliminating this fender.